Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another Rescue Michigan live stream. This is going to be kind of a short one this afternoon. We do have more planned in the very near future. I believe we are going to probably have one tonight. We're going to do a non-Kristina Karamo stream and kind of catch up on the news and some other things going on in the world, of which there are many. And that will be, if not tonight, tomorrow night for sure. But there is a new video out from Ken Beyer, who, if you don't know, he is the 4th district chair and one of Kristina Karamo's hardcore lieutenants. He's making lots and lots of videos that they're posting all over the internets. And he is the guy who made the video that was announcing their plans for the district conventions when somehow, some way, they are going to overthrow the party. They are going to reinstate Karamo as chair. They're going to expel all the state committee members who don't support her. They are going to rewrite the rules on the primary process so that there is no more Republican primaries. Excuse me, I got a sneeze coming. Oh, maybe it's oh, there it is. Sorry, folks. Sorry about that. And then they're going to change the bylaws to not allow anybody else to ever become a Republican Party member ever again. And we have looked at that in previous live streams, so we're not going to cover that just now, but we are going to look at his newest one, which I think just came out this morning. Hi, Cindy. I see you on YouTube there. Folks watching, we are live on Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, and X. So thank you guys for tuning in. And before we go to the video, it's not very long. This won't be a long stream at all. But before we go to the video, something else did come up today. This is a tweet from Scott McMahon, who, of course, is the intrepid journalist at Bigger Truth Media, who has written multiple stories now about the Operation Destroy the GOP. That really is what the Kristina Karamo administration is all about. And this is what he just posted on X, I think today. Let's see here. Yeah, this morning. I spoke at the Lapeer Tea Party last night, shared my research from the last 2 months. It was very well received by nearly everyone. The 3 people who drove the farthest were Karamo Inner Circle cult followers who came to prove me right by demonstrating their thug Olinsky tactics, dominating the Q&A, with failed attempts to discredit me and prevent others from asking genuine questions. One, Braden, I don't know who that is, not only admitted that their plans to try to steal Republicans' right to hold their GOP candidates accountable in primary elections in the name of election integrity, he went on a few-minute diatribe claiming he was asking a question about how somehow their moral imperative as constitutionalists to do so. I told him he just proved he was a communist. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Hey, we know better than you. We know better than you. We're going to end the primary and allow ourselves to decide who our nominees will be because you're too stupid to. That's the idea. After the meeting, Phil O'Halloran approached me and started talking and talking. You're wrong about everything. What specifically? Everything. You're wrong because you haven't talked to Kristina. I've heard this too, folks. People tell me all the time, why don't you just talk to Kristina? But as Scott points out, I didn't follow his logic, but found it a fascinating opportunity to observe someone who has clearly been brainwashed beyond his ability to reason. You just need to talk to dear leader Kristina, they kept telling me. I've spent hours listening to her, and I'd be happy to talk to her. This is the point, folks. We've all heard Kristina. We can't hear enough of Kristina. She keeps talking and talking and talking, as do her followers. I would have a lot of questions, but there's nothing she could say that would change the record of her actions. At this point, there's only one thing Kristina Karamo could do to prove that her goal is not to destroy the GOP: step down and apologize for her deliberate lies and efforts to divide and bankrupt the party, seek reconciliation, and move on so that people who want to work together to save this state and country can do so. Cindy asks, isn't Ken Beyer the guy who made disparaging comments about a woman involved in missionary work, claiming she's a whore? Yes, that is the same Ken Beyer. And then Scott also posted this on X as well. I have a strong feeling that Kristina Karamo and Mike Labadie are very nervous these days. She's been working harder since she was removed than she ever did when she was chair. They've got to be stressed about the prospect of Trump's choice, Whatley becoming RNC chair. He means he's the one who penned the RNC opinion piece about the validity of her removal. Yeah, he is. He's the general counsel for the RNC. He wrote that RNC report. Now, I have heard that it's fake news and Arana is not stepping down, but regardless of that, it's not a good sign. And I've also heard that the RNC's committee is going to be releasing a report about her removal today. So let's look for that. They're clearly stressed about little old me sending 3 hitmen from about an hour away to my talk last night to try to disrupt and discredit. They don't want anyone to hear the truth. Their original plan was to target the August 24th caucuses for these secret bylaws changes and ending public primaries. They had no choice but to spring it on us now because of the brave people who removed her and because of the truth coming out. The walls are crumbling for the actual globalists behind the Kristina Karamo cabal. At least on this front, the people of Michigan aren't going to tolerate this much longer. By the way, who pays Robert Owens, Jim Kopis, etc.? Well, we may talk about the financial stuff in just a moment. This might come up during this video. Let's look at the video, though, folks. Let's see what Ken Beyer's latest is. One more thing. Cindy says, Karamo says one thing, does another. Same old political gymnastics. Yep. All right. So here is, let's add it to the stage. Oh, here we go. Can I make this louder? Cindy, can you hear this okay? Cindy, before I go on, was that loud enough? Can you hear it? I'm just going to let it play while she answers, if she does answer. Here we go.
Lucifer's language is designed to deceive, divide, and destroy. And since he is the father of lies...
Very low. Not very loud. Geez, guys, I'm not sure there's something I can do about that without pausing the video and making it a disaster. Patty P says can't hear it. Well, other than... you know what? Let me see if I can do this some other way. Hold on. Let me try this. Let me take this off. And let me see if I can open it in a different window that'll give me the ability to boost the sound. Let's see here.
Lucifer's language is designed to deceive.
All right. Let me know if this is any better, guys.
Lucifer's language is designed to deceive, divide, and destroy. And since he is the father of lies and the master of deception, won't that make liars and deceivers Satan's servants? I am a child of God. Jesus is my Lord and Savior. And because he is my Lord and Savior and highly favors me, I know that my Father doesn't want me to listen to Satan's servants. For the life of me, I don't understand the confusion. It's cut and dry. If someone...
By the way, it's the video is just that dark. This is Ken Beyer's studio lighting. I don't know why, but that's how he has it set up. This is his video, so there it is. Now, as to what he just said here, well, what do you expect him to say? I mean, this is classic projection. Of course, he's going to call it projection, but it's also just emoting. I mean, the way we're going to decide who's right and wrong on this is going to be to look at the actual facts when and if we ever get to any in this video. But right now, it's just, I'm the child of God. These are the servants of Satan, yada, yada, yada. But again, the facts will decide who's serving who. Here we go.
They will lie and deceive you again.
Fool me once. Shame on them. They fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Just like most of us stop watching the fake news, say goodbye to these liars and cheaters. They are the enemy, and at minimum, they are definitely out to destroy your peace of mind. Their mission is to sell struggle, preach pain, and hustle hate. As some of you may...
This is like quintessential projection. All they're doing is hating on everybody they're talking about here. But here we go. Let's continue.
My identity was recently hijacked by members of the political Lynch Lynch mob. There must have been a Freudian slip.
By the way, that is a hard accusation, folks, because when you put yob on the screen in graphics, you can't claim it was a Freudian slip anymore. That was a hard accusation. We'll let him go on for a little bit longer, and then let's talk briefly about the mystery of the Ken Beyer impersonator. Here we go.
The same thugs who are controlling Melinda and trying to eliminate Kristina Karamo are the godless goons who stole my identity as congressional district chairman. And in typical fashion of Satan's servants, they sent out an email full of lies and propaganda.
Okay, you know what? I don't have the email handy, and it's not even really all that important. So much as the gist of it. Hold on, let's let it. I'm going to pause the video when. Okay, so here's basically what you can see what it's saying here. I got this email. I don't know who else. Maybe you guys got it. I don't know, but it was from some pretend website, and it says Pete is not part of the anti-Trump fringe. He has been an advocate for and we can win. Remember winning. Basically, the email is it is an email that is designed to say something that clearly Ken Beyer would never actually say. It's, oh, I was wrong about everything. You're right. We do need to win. I have become aware of what's going on, yada, yada, yada. So by the looks of it, an obvious, cartoonish, buffoonish, false flag operation done by who knows who. Could be anybody. I am not entirely averse to the possibility that someone who is opposed to Ken Beyer created this and thinks that this is going to do any good. Although, as this video illustrates, it does not do any good. It makes him look like the victim, which at least opens the door to the possibility of it being a double bluff, right? I mean, we don't know who did this. Maybe Ken Beyer wanted to make sympathy for himself by sending out something so cartoonishly absurd that people would say, oh, poor Ken, he's being imitated. Who knows? Who knows? At the end of the day, by the way, it doesn't really matter. Like this email did not fool anybody. It was either someone doing a prank or Ken Beyer doing something to generate sympathy for himself. You never know. It doesn't really matter. Who cares? But this is what he's using it for, to generate sympathy for himself.
Lies and propaganda. I am sure those kinds of attacks are just getting started. Next, I expect an AI-generated voice or video recording of me. And trust me, I can't be bought or intimidated. I'll die on this hill. I'm steadfast and unyielding, and I am a patriot fighting for my grandchildren's future. Now you're probably asking yourself, who's the political lynch mob? And why are they savagely attacking the first black chairwoman of the Republican Party?
The first black chairman of the Republican Party. I thought we were all colorblind. I thought that wasn't a big thing, but this is part of their narrative. This is their narrative crafting. It's, oh, these people are out to get Kristina because she's black. Not a shred of evidence for any of that, but hey, you know, who likes to play the race card? Oh, cultural Marxists. That's right. Oh, well, anyway, let's let him go on.
Constantly trying to eliminate the grassroots patriots she represents. I've been warned, threatened, and told, Ken, enough, stop. What they don't understand about me is that threats invigorate me. I don't get scared, I get ready. That being said,
ooh, he's a bad boy.
The leader of the political lynch mob in Michigan is John Yob, aka the billionaire's bullet.
Okay, now let's see if he offers a shred of evidence for any of this yet. Because he's now accused Yob of posing as him. And now he's saying Yob is behind all this stuff. Which, now keep in mind, folks, remember, as of January 19th, it wasn't even sure Pete Hoekstra would be the next the next state party chair. It was almost Lena Epstein. What do you think would have happened if Lena Epstein was the winner? It'd be the exact same script, only it'd be someone else's face on the screen right here. And by the way, you know, I've worked with John Yob once in the past. He's a political consultant. He describes himself happily as a political hack. He is someone who makes money for himself, helping his clients win. That's what his agenda is. There's nothing more to it than that. And that's not the way I operate personally, but that's perfectly respectable. That people got to earn a living, folks. That's what they do. And that's really all there is to it. But here we go.
He does the dirty work of Michigan's modern day aristocrats so they can keep their hands clean. Our fight for freedom is no different than our founding fathers' fight for their freedom.
You know, this is all emotionalisms, but it's funny how dare they say this? Look at this photo right here. Well, it's not a photo, but look at this illustration here. Our fight is the fight of the founding fathers. Look at the founding fathers there bleeding to death on the field of battle. They have the nerve to compare themselves to them. Shame on them. Michael says, it always seems as Yob is a pretty pro-Trump consultant. I don't think so, Michael. I think he's just I take him at his word. He is a political hack doing what he can for his clients. And for himself. Jason asked, is this a public hit? Is this a candidate for the red flag laws? Someone sent this to me. I assume it's on Rumble and being sent around on Telegram. Cindy says, I think this is borderline threatening. I don't get scared. I get ready. Fall by a skid of him shooting at a target. Meh. I don't like to play those games, and let's call the police and say and pull a red flag on him. I don't like that idea at all. It's that's a do unto others kind of scenario for me. I would not do something like that to my worst enemy. Anyway, let's let him go on.
Revolutionary War was fought against the aristocracy, the white wig wearing ruling class. Today, we call them the donor class. Johnny Boy, the self-proclaimed kingmaker and king breaker. He is a red turncoat who's doing the will of the donor class, who absolutely hates the idea of we the people running the Republican Party.
Citation needed. Where is the evidence? Jason says he has already said to storm, meaning Beyer has already said to storm the conventions on February 15th. Yeah, yep. That they'll use that imagery in this video too. Storm the conventions. We are the thunder. Okay, fair enough. She says it's not suggesting that, but it does seem threatening. Well, yeah, I mean, it's all hyperbole. That's the way they operate. It's all we're God's children and they're the servants of Satan, and this is a spiritual battle, and yada yada. It is a spiritual battle. They're the deceivers. But let's let them go on for a little bit farther here. This is a picture with Hoekstra with Yob, and I guess that's Dennis Lennox, who we're going to talk about in a moment here. So what? I'm not entirely sure that it's John Yob, but it kind of looks like him. Oh well, let's assume it is.
John's 5-star general is Dennis Lennox, a cunningly ruthless liar, a grand master of deception and intimidation. This guy is a real peach. From what I can tell, John and Denny make millions of dollars hiring political lynch mobs to go from state to state under the disguise.
From what I can tell, where is your evidence? You're just hurling accusations with nothing behind them, just bald assertions.
Conservatives to wage war against grassroots patriots, so they can keep the control in their modern-day aristocrats' greedy hands. The war being waged against us here in Michigan is being fought across the country. It's the same warfare. First, the political lynch mob recruits a PSYOP team that infiltrates the local social media platforms. These recruits become well-trained in...
This is all just stock footage and gibberish, guys. By the way, if you're wondering why it says activate Windows in the bottom right hand of my screen here, it's because you can get Windows for free and not give Bill Gates your money just by having that little watermark in there. So I'll put up with it. Michael says, I want to find out who these spies are that are taking pictures of these guys. It's pretty creepy. There was lots of people at that event. This was the Turning Point USA conference in Vegas this past week. And I'm sure lots of pictures were taken. I'm sure we took some pictures of their guys too. Whatever. Randy says it's Beyer's lunatic and El Karamo's minions buy into this garbage. Yep. Well, they're not the target of this video, folks. It's the normal people. The people who are trying to figure out what the heck is going on. So that's why we're going through this. All right, let's continue.
Social media guerrilla warfare. They are taught Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals. They use communist techniques to demoralize us. They start by creating a narrative.
Confession through projection.
Being transparent. The grassroots sucks at choosing candidates. You can easily recognize these social media thugs.
Okay, let's see about this accusation, because he's finally said something of substance. Let's hear it again.
She can't raise money.
She can't raise money. Wow. That's what we have. That's what makes us Marxists for saying is that Kristina Karamo can't raise money. Well, gee, folks, let's tell you what. Let's take a look at the fundraising numbers, because we have some here. This is the long overdue financial report that we commented on the other night when there wasn't any, because it was overdue, from the state party. Here you see the annual statement from the beginning of December last year through the beginning of December 2022 through this past December. Statement due date the 31st of January. Statement received February 5th. So a little bit late. Sorry, donors, you're paying some late fees. But hey, when your agenda is to bankrupt the party, who cares about filing on time? So here we have their e-file data. Go to the contributions. I have added this all up already. If you exclude this massive pay down from the federal account, which we'll talk about in 1 second, and then you see there are these payments on the in 2022, which is before Kristina became the state chair, which was in mid-February of this past year. If you take out all of these donations that occurred before Kristina was chair. You take out these donations that are pay downs from the MRP federal account, which, as you can see from the big numbers at the top, are pretty much everything. You are left with, let's see, here's one of the first donations that is when Kristina was the actual chair from an individual person. And for $2,500, you add this all up, folks, all of it, and it comes to like less than $30,000. It's like $25,000, which, to put in perspective, my county GOP, which is about 4% of the population of Michigan, raised 53 grand last year. So Kristina's state party account has only raised $25,000 in the past year that she has been in office. And you might say, well, what about the federal account? Well, here's the federal account. I looked at this the other night on our stream. The beginning cash on hand from January 1st of last year till December 31st. Beginning cash on hand, $1.9 million. Ending cash on hand, $246,000. Minus a loan, $184,000. They started the year off with 70 grand in their federal account. This 1.9 million, that was the day Kristina got elected, or maybe the day before, that was used to pay off the line of credit for Comerica. Cindy says Grandma moved 1.9 million to the state account that Weiser left in the federal account, and that money got moved to the bank. Is where that went. So that's the summary of where Kristina left the party, was with 70 grand in the federal account and having only raised $25,000 in the state account. Now you might say, okay, well, what about the administrative account? Well, guess what, folks? The federal and the state account are the accounts for supporting campaigns and candidates, the thing the party exists to do. The administrative account is money that can't be put into campaigns. It can be spent on like a convention. And there's a lot of, by the way, people have looked into this, some very, very bizarre expenditures they have here. We can just maybe, let's see here. I can't, well, I'm not going to easily find this, but there's people have looked into these and said, like, why was there like $100,000 spent on computers in here? So a lot of, okay, here we go. Well, I'm not going to go through the whole thing right now, but yeah, these are abysmal fundraising numbers. Now, the other thing that I'm sure Ken Beyer's people will say is, well, it's not her fault she couldn't raise the money. It's because those evil globalists told their donors to stop giving. Well, there's a couple of problems with that thesis. Yeah, Cindy says over $200,000 for a website and laptops. Yep. Almost like they're stealing money. Almost like they're giving out money to their friends. Anyway, two problems with this idea that it's the globalists' fault Kristina couldn't raise any money. Problem number one is Kristina herself promised, we're going to flip the script. We're going to have a brand new fundraising model. We're going to raise $50 million from small business owners and small donors. We don't need the rich people's money. So that was her plan from the get-go. That's the first problem. The second problem is they're their own people, and you can't make them give you money. That's why it's called donations. If they don't want to give, they don't have to give. They don't owe you their money. So if the problem and the reason why they're not giving is because someone told them not to give because of who you are, then you shouldn't have counted on that money in the first place. But you didn't count on that money, did you? You said, no, we're going to raise money from these other sources. Well, it turns out that never happened because you just couldn't do it because you just didn't know what you were doing. So that is, according to Ken Beyer, just us making up lies about Kristina, saying she can't raise money. She couldn't raise money. She didn't raise any money. And newsflash, she didn't want to raise any money. All right, let's let him continue.
She isn't being transparent.
She isn't being transparent. Well, that might be its own video, guys. And I'm working on compiling a number of documents that I've been getting from certain state committee members on the opacity Kristina has exhibited with all of her committee members. But we just went through those budget documents. Yes, Cindy says MRP campaign promised to be the most transparent MRP administration. Yeah, Well, and here again, folks, what transparency? Did anybody know until the reports came out that Kristina looted the federal account? Shouldn't tell anyone that, because we had that letter from the NRCC quoting Dan Hartman saying, we're going to hold on to that money you gave us until you can come down and make your case to the budget committee why that money should be spent where its donors wanted it to be spent. And then we looked at the financial reports that just came out the other day, and it turns out they didn't save that money. They stole that money. So, yeah, who is being truthful? The people who are saying she isn't transparent? Well, is she transparent or is she not transparent? It's kind of straightforward, guys. It's kind of obvious, as a matter of fact. How long did it take to figure out that $110,000 check to pay for Jim Caviezel was not a donation? It was, in fact, a loan. In fact, a loan from Jim Kopas's wife, which I now have in writing, by the way. Cindy says, Karamo said she would make all of the state committee aware of what was going on with the budget and finances, broken promises. Yep. All right. Let's let Mr. Beyer continue here.
The grassroots sucks at choosing candidates.
Well, they proved that one, unfortunately. With electing Kristina Karamo, that is. But hey, live and learn, folks. We all learned a bit from this experience of Kristina Karamo as chair. But by the way, what's his actual point there? His point is that this is our argument against eliminating the primaries, which maybe somebody out there is making that argument. I certainly never have. My argument's always been, if you disenfranchise the Republican primary voters, they're going to be mad as hell, and aren't going to vote for your candidates. That's why canceling the primaries is a bad idea, assuming you even can do that, which is dubious. But that's the argument he's putting in our mouths is, the grassroots, meaning Kristina Karamo's people, aren't going to elect good candidates. Well, how did it go with Kristina Karamo for Secretary of State? How did it go with Kristina Karamo for state chair? Oh, yeah, it didn't go very well, did it?
You can easily recognize these social media thugs for their strategies because they...
What is this? These social media thugs? This would be following my expose of MI GOP chairwoman Kristina Karamo. She just sent out this email to all of the Michigan State Committee members accusing me of malicious disparagement, ... Spicy Chemist says, the idea came from you about closing the primaries. No, the idea for me was to close the presidential primary because the Democrats moved the primary up so early we would lose our national delegates. And because in a presidential primary where there is only one race, Democrats are free to vote in the Republicans' primaries. That's the way that works. Spicy Chemist says he thought my idea was fantastic. I agree. I'm glad they did it. To this day, I'm happy that we have this process where Nikki Haley voters, Democrats, are not going to be able to take national delegates. However, I'll continue going through this here. Democrats vote in Republican primaries only when there are no competitive Democrat races on the ballot. So, for example, in your typical primary election in August, you've got at least one or two contested races, usually, right? You're going to have a contested Democrat primary for U.S. Senate, for example. So Democrats are not going to cross over to vote in the Republican primary. Some might, but the vast majority of Democrats, the only way Democrats can vote in a Republican primary in an organized manner is when they do it naturally. And I've seen elections like this where there's like no contested Democrat primaries, and then Democrats will cross over in the primary and vote on the Republican side for who they view as the most beatable or what have you. And also, Cindy points out, closed primaries are not what Karamo is suggesting. Right. Well, but that's not what I was suggesting with the presidential nomination either. But that's another thing they're trying to mislead delegates about. Yeah, they're not talking about closing a primary. That would mean having partisan voter registration and having only registered Republicans voting in Republican primaries. That's not what Karamo's people are talking about. They're talking about ending the primaries altogether and having Republicans nominate candidates at conventions, nominating candidates for county commission at county conventions, for state rep at, I guess, state convention. All very bizarre and also illogical because the districts are all crossing over every which way. How do you vote for a state rep candidate whose district goes into different congressional districts in different counties? It makes no sense at all. It's crazy, but these people are crazy. So there you go. All right, folks, I need to, and Spicy Chemist says, isn't that called a caucus? No, it's not. And this is, again, going to the confusionalizationalisms of all this stuff. The Iowa caucus is where Republicans show up and they just say, okay, I'm going to vote for so-and-so. It's an event that they understand and they're comfortable with. That's not what they're talking about doing. They're talking about having conventions where only precinct delegates have standing to vote. That's a convention. And again, here again, it's confusing because people use different terms for things. For example, at state conventions, we have a component of them that's by each congressional district for anomaly things like district committees, and those are called district caucuses. But they're a component of the convention. Anyway, all right, I got to get through this video because I have to have a hard stop at 2 o'clock. So let me finish this up here. But anyway, going back to this video. So they're attacking Laura Loomer for some reason. And I don't even know what really the purpose of any of this is, but they're claiming this is us on social media, I guess.
And project, sowing doubt and character assassination. They don't listen to common sense or reason. Their primary mission.
I can't even tell what that was in reference to.
To keep patriots fighting in unproductive keyboard skirmishes.
What is Ken Beyer doing? Who's keeping who in an unproductive keyboard skirmish? Folks, the reason why I'm paying so much attention to this is because county conventions are coming up in 8 days. This is important. This is critical. Spicy Chemist says the only way to distinguish Republicans in Michigan is delegates, right? I have no idea what you mean by that. No. As a matter of fact, if you have primaries determined by who's a precinct delegate, Democrats can file as Republican precinct delegates. Why not? It'd be fun for them. Yeah, Dan Lawless. The purpose is that they're going to lose. They know it's they're fanning the flames of the base. Yeah, exactly. It's Operation Destroy the Party. All right, I gotta finish this up, guys. Here we go.
Is a face-to-face, lie-to-lie ground war. It is fought by political, ambitious grassroots meat-firsters who can be bought, bribed, or both. Will do whatever it takes, or screw whoever it takes to gain power and make money. They are ruthless.
Keep in mind, since you just said they'll screw whoever it takes. These are people who voted almost unanimously to expel state committee members at an illegal meeting they held themselves. Where they complained, they shrieked, "How dare you appoint proxies at your January 6th meeting," and then happily appoint proxies themselves. These people are complete hypocrites. Okay, now we're going to get to the interesting part here. They're going to play this incredible tape of Warren Carpenter. And by the way, folks, they were telegraphing this. They were on social media these past few days. We've got this hot audio of Warren Carpenter threatening people using Yob-style tactics. When it drops, you're going to be amazed to discover what an evil son of a bitch Warren Carpenter is. Let's hear this. Let's hear the shocking audio footage. Here we go.
Especially the likes of Warren, the traitor Carpenter. He is, in my opinion, their political drug dealer who is paid to peddle lies, intimidate, and bribe others to get the job done.
You are a weak coward. I'm so furious with you right now. You know better than this.
You know better than this.
Never hold a single office anywhere in your life again. I will make it my personal mission to run against you in any place you do anything. Knowing what you know, being on the budget committee.
Okay. Knowing what you know, being on the budget committee. Here's what you say to this guy. I know you're a lying bag of trash, and I'm going to make it my mission to stop you from being in power again. That's not any kind of blackmail or extortion. That is calling out evil for what it is. And maybe you disagree with him, but that's all he's saying is, I know that in your heart of hearts, you know what you're doing is wrong. You're perpetrating an act of evil, and I'm going to prevent you from having power in the future. He's not saying, I'm going to call my billionaire buddies and threaten your wife or anything like that. He's just saying, you're wrong, and I'm going to oppose you. That's all he's saying. Let's see if there's anything more of this. And I hope you share this with everybody. Yeah, because he's got nothing to be embarrassed about. Nothing at all. All he's saying is, I think you of all people in the budget committee, you know that you are seeing malfeasance You are the one who is being afraid of confronting evil, and you're making excuses for it, and you're covering for it, and you are promoting it. And I will not allow someone like you to be in power again. So what? That's like if someone says, Lindsey Graham, you're an evil, lying son of a bitch, and I don't want you to ever, I'm going to prevent you from ever holding office again. Good. There's nothing wrong with that. It's entirely a forthright, direct statement. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. A perfect call.
His 140-page hit piece on Chairwoman Karamo is Michigan's bootleg version of the Steele dossier that was written to take down Trump. This bloated report of nothing burgers.
Yeah, except for the substance of it, except that it's 100+ pages of exhibits, of notes. Oscar Barton says, dude, you're losing so much credibility with this BS. How? This is exactly what these guys do, folks. They just call names. That's all this is, name calling. This is like the Steele dossier, except it's got evidence.
And high word inflation was written by Norcross and Judd. Mind you, this is a law firm fighting like cats and dogs to keep rolling around.
Did you see that? Warner, Norcross, and Judd voted #1 law firm by Chinese Communist Party. I didn't see a citation there, but something tells me that the Chinese Communist Party did not take a vote on their favorite law firm, and that Warner Norcross won the election there. Cindy Holland says, I've spoken to Republican voters. Not one of them said they want to be excluded from voting in the primaries. No kidding. No kidding. All right.
Skeletons hidden in the Republican headquarters. This is the same law firm.
By the way, the skeletons hidden in the Republican headquarters. I've seen this going around too. Let me see if we can find it here. Yes, I do have it here. Hold on. Let me bring it up on the screen. This was on their Telegram recently. And it's got Rana and Laura Cox and Ron Weiser. These globalist deep state operators are all members of the Seymour Street LLC claiming ownership of the old MIGOP building, which MIP and MIGOP General Counsel Dan Hartman is asking for a declaratory judgment on to steal the building. This is a modern David and Goliath scenario. What is the deep state hiding in that building on Seymour Street? Whatever it is, they will stop at nothing to gain their stranglehold on power and prevent we the people from ever finding out what is in the building, what is in the basement of the building. The basement they said was flooded. What secrets is that building keeping? It's just so ludicrous. All right, let's get back to the video and finish this off, guys.
That has likely been sitting on evidence for the last 4 years that could prove that the 2020 election was stolen. Let that sink in. Stand firm against deception, intimidation, and aggression. The storm is upon us. Be the thunder and lightning. Oh yeah, and by the way, Pete, resign your fake seat and apologize for causing this divide in the Michigan's Republican Party.
All right, and that's the end of the video, folks. So there you go. It's all just noise. There's no evidence behind anything. It's just name calling, and the infinitesimal number of facts they bring up here. You're saying she can't raise money? Yeah, because she can't raise money. She hasn't raised any money. That's what all these disclosures have revealed, is that she didn't raise any money. All the campaign accounts are empty. Thomas LeDuc says she had access to the building. Yeah, there was that too. People have said that to me. I can't confirm that. It's probably true. But yeah, what secrets are in the building, folks? These days, secrets are on the internet. They're in emails. They're not in a file in a building in a drawer someplace. But whatever. There you go, folks. All right, we will be back again soon with some more stuff, including at some point very soon, probably tonight, a non-Kristina Karamo video and talking about some other things. But there you go. That's the latest from Ken Beyer. And again, folks, the reason why we're doing this is because we need you to help delegates understand this is a scam. This is a cult. Their job, their mission is to destroy the GOP. If you don't believe it, look at the campaign finance results. They're they're burning everything down. They're leaving the party mired in financial problems, legal problems, and intense division. And that's what they want to do on February 15th, is send delegates to a state convention where they will throw the rules in the trash. As Ken Beyer said in his own videos, they're going to overthrow the chair, reinstall Kristina, expel state committee members they don't like, pass this insane canceling the primary scheme, and then rewrite the bylaws to say, and now we are going to control the party in perpetuity. Cindy says, let me ask you this. How many lawsuits has Karamo entered into since being elected MRP chair? Well, I can think of the lawsuits against Comerica Bank and the MRP Trust. Now, ask how many are election integrity related? None. 0. Yep. Yeah, what has Kristina Karamo actually done for election integrity, with that all that money she's taken from the party, other than pay her own salary? Can't think of anything. All right, guys, that'll do it for us for now. Thanks for all you do for liberty. We will be back tonight and or tomorrow and certainly Sunday for more. Until next time, thanks for all you guys do for liberty. Peace.